Following contains some very strong opinions. Viewer discretion is advised. They are my opinions. However, I will be linking all relevant sources in the description below. In addition, I have provided timestamps as this video is longer than what I normally go for. Enjoy!
Hello wonderful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lexi and joining me today is Dolores, one of my favourite teddy bears, because I'm going to need a lot of moral support during this video. This isn't my usual style of video. I normally do study, grades, academic stuff, but I need to speak out on what's been going on. I've been seeing certain things on the media. Certain behaviours have been happening. I've been seeing them on repeat. And I've noticed two common factors, two common denominators. I have noticed two things that seem to keep happening. One of them is blatant racism towards black people, but that's always been there. That's always been there. Okay, that's nothing new. None of this is new. It's just being exposed more. People are spending more time on the internet. It is being spread more. The awareness of it has increased, but this is nothing new. And the second one is exploiting autistic children. That's how we're moving in 2020. Sick. These people are sick. Sick. Absolutely disgusting. The behaviours that I have seen are vile and reprehensible. And let's start with the racism. Black guy goes jogging, gets shot. Black woman, a paramedic at that, got shot in her own house, in her own bed, because the police went to the wrong house and the suspect had already been detained. How do you botch an arrest that badly? That instead you kill the wrong person at the wrong time in the wrong house when the... I watched an innocent man die. I watched an innocent man die on my phone. This wasn't Netflix. This wasn't TV. This wasn't fiction. A real life innocent man was killed. He was brutally, disgustingly murdered. I don't even watch fight scenes. Even in anime, I will skip past it. I don't like watching violence. I don't like seeing violent things. I watched a man die. That affected me so badly. And I don't want people to think my silence is me condoning what happened. My silence all this time has been me just processing what happened, processing what I feel, why I feel this way, and what I can do. Because what can I do? Like I said, this is nothing new. The only thing new about this is this was my first time seeing it in action, seeing it on my phone, on screen. Oh. Racism is nothing new. Lana Del Rey did her whole publicity stunt, typewriter, whiny, complainy thing with the audacity to imply that feminism didn't have space for women like her, a white woman. Intersectional feminism has left the chat. She made valid points. Lana Del Rey made perfectly valid points. If you just took the third paragraph, that was all she needed to say. She did not need to start dragging women of colour plus Ariana Grande for no reason, falsely. There was no need. Rather than trying to find some kind of way to be oppressed, why don't you just accept your privilege and use that to spread awareness on the people who are actually being oppressed? Food for thought. The highlight of my week has been watching Instant Influencer on James Charles's YouTube channel. And I don't even like James Charles. I do not like James Charles. I still have personal problems with what he's done in the past. I still feel like there's certain things he did not apologise for. I'm not a fan of him. I don't like reality TV. Okay, if I'm watching TV, I want to get away from reality because reality sucks. Why would I want to watch reality only televised and dramatized? No. I don't like James Charles. I don't watch reality TV. Yet somehow that was the highlight of my week. That was the highlight of my week because I can put aside my personal feelings and say with chest that it was a good show. It was all just one big publicity stunt, but from a PR perspective, well done. Publicity, well done. Norvina got herself out there. She was giving good comments. Ashley totally deserved to win. She was a queen. And so was Kaylin. Kaylin was really good as well. Like, she definitely was a very close second. They were both very good. The show was run really well. How is that the best thing that's happened this week? How? Me watching James. That's how you know the world is ending. Put aside your personal feelings and watch it, judge it for what it is. It's what I normally try to do. And so go support Ashley and Kaylin. Ashley and Kaylin, go support them. See, all these things, they're mainly going on in America. Obviously, as a black woman, I've experienced racism myself. I have experienced different types of racism and microaggressions. It's just part of life. It shouldn't be, but it is. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. I'm not here to talk about my own personal feelings. I feel lucky that I live in the UK where the police don't carry guns. I feel lucky that I have never felt like my life is at risk simply because of my skin colour. I feel lucky, and that isn't the case in the US, and that is so horrible to see. The entire system is broken and damaged and horrible. And then Donald Trump shooting looters. Since when was the punishment for stealing being shot without a proper trial? Make it make sense. When white people and white passing people were protesting, carrying arms and aggressing police officers because they couldn't go to a flipping beach or go to a hair salon or go to a shop, where was the military? Where were the weapons? Where? I don't condone rioting in any way. You know, do respect the law. It's there for a reason. Breaking the law doesn't help your cause. But you have to recognize that people don't riot for funsies. It is dangerous. And it comes from a place of desperation. Most riots are perfectly preventable if you respond correctly to peaceful protests, listen to your citizens' concerns before they escalate and show action and show them that their voices are heard. They won't riot. If you show them that the law is on their side, they won't feel the need to break it. But when the law is against them and their peaceful protests invite policemen in riot gear when white people can do it and nothing happens, the desperation comes in, and you're not helping yourselves. You're just not helping yourselves. See, normally, like, I look at Donald Trump and I'm like, I used to think that, you know what, at least here in the UK, we don't have a rich, white, blonde, rightist leader doing stupid shit, right? Right? Boris Johnson, all he had to do was impose a fine on Dominic Cummings and suspend him for a couple of weeks, wait till it all died down, then let him discreetly come back. That was all he needed to do. That fine wouldn't even make a dent in his rich Tory pocket, right? Fine. A little suspension, call it a holiday. From PR's perspective, everything would be fine. But instead, by supporting Cummings, what Bojo has done is made himself look like a puppet, made himself look weak, and made himself look like he lacks integrity. London to Durham. London to Durham. And Michael Gove did not make the situation any better, but I sat 10 new GCSEs, so I already have like plenty of qualms with Michael Gove. This is not the video I'm going to diss him. Michael Gove did not help the situation at all. He needs a PR manager. If he already has one, he needs to sack them. Get a better PR manager. You all need better PR managers. You do. From a PR perspective, forget integrity, forget morals, forget, keeping your word, because at the end of the day, Boris is a politician. Just for the sake of PR, suspend Cummings for a bit. Like, it just made him look bad, and then they brought his daughter's autism into it. That was insulting for any family, including mine, who have children with autism, who have been struggling to meet their autistic children's needs, but still willfully respected the lockdown and the restrictions in order to protect our NHS. That was like a slap in the face to people like us. Inappropriate. I normally don't like to go with whatever the main political opinion I find on Twitter is, because it tends to be wrong, but I'm generally struggling to find like what the actual evidence to support his claim, because it just seemed to be pulling stuff out of their asses left, right and centre, pulling something new, some kind of new excuse, which just makes them look bad. Why couldn't they take one story and stick to it? Why is it always changing? All we needed was a suspension. It's not just families with children with autism. Families with children who have any kind of disability have found this time really, really hard, okay? Yes, this is a difficult time, but it's not equally difficult for everyone. These times are more difficult for families where someone has a disability, where it's become harder to meet their needs. So it's also like, oh, you don't have to follow the rules if you're rich. And only the autistic children or the bourgeoisie matter. Everyone else like has to struggle and suffer. It just looks bad. It looks bad. It's terrible PR, Boris. It's bad PR. No, But it's bad when James Charles's PR has been better than our own politicians. James Charles. And then there's Myka, I don't know, I don't follow her. Stauffer, who adopted an autistic child from China, knowing that that child was autistic. I think there's like 27 videos on her YouTube channel about the adoption journey, all monetized. She crowdfunded for his adoption and got funding for that. Her videos helped her get sponsorships and deals, and she made a lot of money. And then she secretly put him back in the foster care system, went on holiday to Bali with her family, and started looking to adopt another child, but with very specific disability needs, not just any disabled child. They wanted a child who had a disability that was easy to manage but seemed hard. Like their shopping, these are children's lives. These are actual children's lives. You can't just shop for them. They're not. People treat pets better than they rehoused him. You know what? She duct taped his thumbs to his hands because he was sucking them, even though like we've seen her other children do it. So she clearly was not a good mum for him. So I commend her giving up that child to someone who can give him the care and love that he deserves and treat him correctly. However, the fact that she made money off this, that she exploited this child and profited for it, she made money off it. She got bank off that child. Vulnerable child who literally cannot speak up for himself. Literally cannot speak up to defend himself. She made money off him and then gave him away. That is inexcusable. That is sick. And I just want to talk about autism awareness for a minute. Autism is not one size fits all. I repeat, autism is not one size fits all. Every child on the spectrum has their own developmental journey that's unique and different. You can't predict where they'll be, you can't predict what they'll need, and that is part of raising an autistic child. You have to be prepared to make changes as you go along. You have to adapt to them and their needs to provide the proper care. Now, I complain and rant about my brother's shenanigans all the time because it's difficult. I know just how difficult it is, but she knew it, okay? Autism, you can't scream for it in the room. You can't tell when they're born. It's a developmental thing, so you only start to realize when that child starts developing. They're not talking when they should, they're not potty training, things like that. That's when the signs start coming in. And by then, they're already your child and you have to do your best to raise him. She knew he was autistic. She chose to adopt him. She chose that child. She chose that child knowing her life situation, knowing what her parenting style, and not ready to compromise on certain things for him. Raising a non-verbal autistic child does involve a lot of compromises. And I mean, who likes a compromise? No one. No one likes compromising. But it's about what's best for the child, not what's best for your flipping YouTube channel. And this is my problem with family YouTube channels. I mean, there are probably some good family YouTube channels out there. I don't know. I don't watch them. They're not useful for me. But you have children and making money, it can go very left very quickly. It can easily become exploitative and dangerous for the children, which is why you have to be very careful when you are starting a family YouTube channel. If anyone has one or wants to start one or is watching one, you have to be very, very careful when it comes to children, those kinds of things, because they are young and vulnerable, and autistic children even more so vulnerable. And there is a stigma against autism which is so flipping stupid. Let's talk about that for a minute, right? Let's talk about anti-vaxxers, right? Because one of the biggest things for the anti-vaxxer movement was this fake, fabricated, stupid study that claimed vaccines caused autism. It's not true. If you think it is, you need to get help. It's not true. What was never addressed was that parents would rather risk their children died from measles, mumps, and rubella, which are perfectly preventable diseases, than having them have autism. That stigma has never been addressed. Autism awareness is not high enough. We can do more and we should do more. My autistic child isn't how I expected them to be. That's not how autism works. That's not how... It's sick. It's sick. This video is already way too long. I hope that anyone who's suffered injustice based on their race or skin color, or any kind of injustice in general, but we are focusing on race or skin color, especially black people, because it's black people who are suffering right now. I hope that those people find justice, whether or not their situation has been caught on video. I hope those people find justice. I hope that people increase their autism awareness, and I am all for adoption. I really, really encourage people to adopt. I personally want to adopt one day eventually, once I'm ready for that. And if people are choosing to adopt children with special needs, to do their due diligence and research and be prepared for that, and to be prepared to do what needs to be done for the sake of their future child. We can do better, we should do better, and we'd better do better, because we can't carry on like this. It's 2020, we can do better. This virus has killed hundreds of thousands of people, and it's not even our biggest issue right now. It's not even our biggest enemy right now. It's not the biggest enemy we're facing as a society. So yes, I will be back very soon with a much more light-hearted video. I just had to get all of this off my chest. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.